everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Adam and Chris Show. I'm St. Adam.
I'm Chris Malice.
And joining us is...
Zealot Wolf.
Again.
All right. And Chris, what are we here to talk about today?
Seeing as it's February and it is Black History Month, we're doing a list of top 20 comic book characters to go with Black History Month. So I'm going to start off the list with a notorious Punisher villain by the name of Barracuda. One of the few guys, and Punisher doesn't have a reoccurring rogues gallery, obviously. So he's one of the few guys that's been able to reoccur and go toe-to-toe with Punisher. He's insanely entertaining, has the words, fuck you, tatted on his teeth, which that's hilarious. He's big. He has some of the fucking funniest lines in the Garth Ennis Punisher books.
How did he tell Punisher that he had a daughter?
He was holding his baby daughter and a gun. He's like, congratulations, it's a bitch. Fucking insanely funny. He's great. Barracuda.
All right. At number 19, who do we have?
Falcon.
Falcon. From you might know him from the Captain America movies. Falcon has been around for a long time in Captain America comics, and he even had some of his own series and stuff. To me, Falcon actually gained a lot of momentum. It seemed like when he was introduced in the movies, because in the comics, I don't think certain writers really knew how to work with his character. It did seem like when they did the Marvel team up, him and Spider-Man had some good issues. And then, back in 2000 when they did that first Avengers cartoon, the one strictly to sell action figures.
Yeah.
They threw him on the team. That was pretty big, because I don't think Falcon had been a member of the Avengers up until that point. But, everyone thought Falcon was just a guy that had wings and a pet bird and could fly. But, they've really managed to do a lot with Falcon since he was introduced in The Winter Soldier. He became Captain America at one point in the comics.
And he probably will on the show.
Well, yeah, if you see what they have in store for him, yeah, I could see that heading that way. Hell, Cap gave him his shield at the end of Endgame. Yep. When Captain America gives you his shield as a ringing endorsement, what more do you need?
Yep.
Everyone's like, oh, he can just fly. He can kick a lot of ass, too.
Mm-hmm.
I think the tech and stuff is really cool when it comes to him.
Oh, yeah. Mm. And I'm glad they didn't go with the way that Rob Liefeld made Falcon.
Ooh.
If you remember from the Heroes Reborn line in 96.
Ooh, that was bad.
Falcon had suffered a gunshot, and Captain America cut open his hand and dripped super soldier blood into his wound and create him as a super soldier. And
so
he didn't have any pupils or any feet in any of the panels because Liefeld can't write that.
Did Liefeld give him a pair of fucking tits like he did Captain America?
No, he did not.
You've seen that picture. It's all right. Next.
Next is Black Lightning. I'm a fan of him. I actually didn't get into him until after I started watching the show, where he's older, he has a family now. He's great. I like him.
I like the fact that you have an older comic book character. Comic book characters seem to not age. He's wiser. Mm-hmm. And with age brings a little bit of wisdom. I like the fact that he's got a family, so he's got to deal with, being a hero and dealing with being a father, especially a responsible father. In fact, he's a principal on the show. Black Lightning's awesome. The show has some weirdness to it, but I think it's a really good show.
Well, not only that, but from the comics, there's one of my favorite Black Lightning moments. He saves Superman's life. And to save Superman's life is no easy task, but there was a rematch between Superman and Doomsday, and Lex had launched a kryptonite grenade thinking it'd take out both of them. Doomsday survived, but it stopped Superman's heart, and Lois couldn't get it started again. So Black Lightning just, jump-starts Superman. So, he had the list of, people who saved Superman's life. It's not that long. Black Lightning is right there on it.
Mm-hmm.
17, we got Bishop from the X-Men. What can I say about Bishop? I have, his first appearance and first story arcs and everything. Great concept. Guy comes back in time to try to change time. He's also hunting. People forget he's hunting criminals. Because in the cartoon they have him as a bounty hunter, but in the comics he was like a future cop. Bishop had some badass moments in the comics. I love where he's supercharged, right? Sabretooth is loose in the X Mansion. It's just Bishop, Jubilee.
Oh, that's a good issue.
Yeah. He's like
fucking
pulling the wires out of the
through fucking Sabretooth.
Oh, right through him, unloaded on him. Also, he single-handedly took down the X-Men Gold Team when they first ran into him because they didn't know who he was, what his powers were. Took down Colossus, put like one of those inhibitor collars on him to nullify his powers and broke his nose. Disarmed Archangel, Iceman, even Storm. Like, she didn't know, I think she tried to shoot him with lightning, and he's just like, surprise. And even when Magneto came back in the Fatal Attraction storyline, where he magnetized everyone, and Bishop is just feeding off that residual magnetic energy, getting stronger and stronger. And then like some of the other mutants use their powers on him, and so he just turns into like this atom bomb unleashed against Magneto. He stopped the Juggernaut, for crying out loud.
Yeah. All right.
So there you go. Bishop at number 17.
Number 16, Misty Knight. Now kind of famous for being on the Luke Cage show and of course in the Defenders TV show. At one point she's played by Simone Mizik. Loved her on the show. She was awesome. Tough, take no bullshit New York police detective.
But not in a... She was charming, so it wasn't like, oh, we've seen this type of character 1,000 times. Misty, she'd take no bullshit, but she could be funny. Yes. So she wasn't like a one-dimensional character.
At one point she loses her arm and it gets replaced with a robotic arm. In the comic book, there's like 2 story arcs where there's a spinoff with her and Iron Fist's wife. I think it was
Misty was Iron Fist's wife in the comic. A lot of people don't realize that. Her and Iron Fist got married. They dated for a long time, which made them one of Marvel's first interracial couples.
Wow.
She formed a detective agency with Colleen Wing.
Yeah, that's the...
They put together a team during the Civil War with Black Cat.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
So, I mean, Misty's tough as nails.
She also... There's a... I forget the name of the actual comic. It's her and Colleen Wing that are a team.
They're Private Eyes.
Good book. Good book.
Number 15 is Michonne from Walking Dead.
I mean...
Complete badass of a character.
Yeah. Just
100%. It's one of the... They really didn't change Michonne much from the comic to the show. It's, things about Michonne, she's going to be, in great shape. I don't think that woman has an ounce of give on her body. Like, pressing her shoulders, her arms, everything, it's going to feel like pressing this table. There's no give to it, right? Samurai sword, she's insanely deadly with that.
Walking around with those 2 zombies.
Walking around, she took their bottom jaws off, and she's like, she figured out, I got, they're going to distract the other zombies. I can move through here.
That's fucking genius. They should have done that again.
Right.
I don't know why they didn't.
And, in a one-on-one fight, and she's going to fuck someone up.
Your ass.
So, Michonne, great character, especially for like a horror-based comic, like where people are disposable left and right in this.
She's probably the most indisposable one.
Yeah.
Right.
She fucks up the governor.
She really did. So there you go. Michonne at number 15. At number 14, Chris, who do we have?
Vixen! Yeah! From Justice League Unlimited. Jon Stewart's lady.
Only on the show.
Only on the show, yeah.
Only on the show.
I'm more familiar with her just from the show. She was awesome on the show.
Did you see her on Arrow?
No.
They did great. Then they did her grandmother in Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, and Legends of Tomorrow.
Vixen's powers are, she's got that talisman that ties her to the animal kingdom. So whatever animal that she summons, the speed of a cheetah, the eyesight of a hawk, the strength of a bear, she just puts it out there, And, she can channel all these different powers. And I like how some writers twisted a little. Like, not twisted, but they thought outside the box. She was on a case looking for someone, so she summoned a bloodhound so she could have that and track their scent.
Right.
Like just things like that. Like a cat so she could see better in the dark. I mean...
There's one scene in the cartoon where she's getting on an elevator, leaving the apartment, and she just sees a little bit of a shadow move for a split second. And next thing you see is the guy breaking into the room just get fucking decimated by her as a rhino and just runs through the wall and wrecks his shit. That's when I was like, all right, this bitch is bad.
Vixen's a great character for sure. At number... Let me move this. At number 13, who do we have?
War Machine.
War Machine. Of course we'd have to have War Machine on here.
Yeah, you have to.
Jim Rhodes at one point was Iron Man. People forget this. In the Secret War comic, it wasn't Tony Stark. It was Rhodes.
I believe, didn't that come forth after Devil in a Bottle?
Yes.
Great
He
boy.
had to pick up for Tony Stark because
He was
Stark
becoming an alcoholic.
wasn't drunk.
Yeah.
But, other than that, they made him War Machine, which gave him even heavier armor, more dangerous armor. Now, I'm going to ignore some of the stuff they did in the mid-90s, give him that alien armor to, it got really weird right there. But War Machine, at his heart, just works best as, everyone thinks, oh, he's just another Iron Man. No. He sees things so much different than Tony Stark. Tony Stark is he's a futurist, and he lives in his head, and War Machine's look at the real world. He thinks more practical. And with that military training, that makes the War Machine armor that much more deadly.
Speaking of his armor, I think out of all the Iron Man suits, War Machine, that one is my favorite with the minigun and everything. I just think that's the most badass armor that they've ever made for Iron Man. Ironically, it's not even for him.
Right. And even when Tony Stark faked his death and gave Rhodes the War Machine armor, and the first time we see that, Stark's a bit of an asshole. But, he thought his friend died. He took the armor. He's like, I will, make your memory count. Then he found out Tony was alive and he punched him in the face.
All right. Now, if we could go
you don't fuck with War Machine.
Now, after we go from such a insanely positive character, we go to a villain, Black Manta.
We said comic book characters, and the fact is, Black Manta's a badass. I understand why they had Ocean Master as the main villain in Aquaman, because you had to get that crown on Arthur's head. But Black Manta was the more intimidating villain.
He's
the
also the main antagonist for Aquaman. He killed his kid.
He killed Aquaman's not just kid, baby.
Yeah.
That kid was just... Arthur Jr. was a toddler, and he suffocated to death in that bubble. Because Black Manta set it up, Aquaman and Aqualad have to fight to the death to save his kid, and he still died.
Yeah, that's Black Manta.
But he's a smart villain, too. He's I see how powerful Aquaman is. I'm going to go after him with this technology and my training.
Plus, that fucking helmet's awesome.
That helmet is amazing.
And in Injustice 2, he is such a fucking monster. Oh my god, he's a combo machine. Black Manta. Who else we got here?
Number 11, we got Miles Morales, Spider-Man. Spider-Man. In my opinion, one of the best Spider-Man. He has very interesting powers compared to the original Spider-Man. Not just the webs and the strength that comes with. He also has some I don't know how to.
He can turn
describe
invisible.
it. He can do that, which I don't understand completely.
It's probably
kind of
certain...
like that chameleon effect. Some spiders can change their color to blend in with their surroundings. So I think it's a play on that.
He can also. He also has lightning abilities too.
Venom Blast, kind of like Spider-Woman does.
That's right.
Spider-Woman's the shit too.
Yeah.
That's a video for a different time, Chris. But you know how Miles Morales got, the character got created was because Donald Glover had mentioned he would love to play Spider-Man at some point. And made the comment, he's like, but I don't think they'll cast me because I'm black. And Brian Bendis heard that and he's like, well, you're a great actor. That shouldn't hold you back. So I'll create a Spider-Man to represent that. And Bendis's kids are black, so he's like, you know, his daughter went and bought a Miles Morales mask for Halloween, and he's like, that's great. Morales appeared in Ultimate Spider-Man, and I know some people were like, "Whoa, they changed this." Ultimate Spider-Man stopped selling after like the first 50 issues.
Yeah.
At that point, no one cared.
Yeah.
So they killed off Peter Parker, and they still had a Spider-Man.
Well,
in
it's
Miles
the Ultimate
Morales.
Universe. It wasn't even continuity.
The only thing I disagree with is when they tried to change Morales' superhero name to Spy D, S-P-Y,
Oh, that's
space
horrible.
D.
That's
fucking
horrible.
dumb.
Yeah, now that didn't stick.
Thank God.
Hopefully that's
Thank
gone by now, because I know a lot of people hated it. That's the only thing I disagreed about with Miles Morales.